this was because Netflix was holding her back and she wants to push forward. Well, what better way to do that than to go to these countries and sort of test run how the business could go if they expand into Australia? I think nothing has been confirmed, but certainly it feels like that's the mood music.
And what do they know her to be? A gold-digging grifter.
Something unexpected has reportedly complicated Meghan Markle's planned visit to Australia. According to recent media coverage and online discussion, the situation began after what has been described as a private internal email connected to an event tied to her trip was circulated publicly. Reports suggest the message contained behind-the-scenes planning details that were not intended for a wider audience. Please subscribe, it cost you nothing, but it truly so much to me. While the full context of the communication remains unclear, commentators say the leak has triggered renewed speculation.
No, can I just tell you that Australia has tackled illegal immigration very successfully. And I think given the fact that Harry and Meghan are on their way, I think it's time to reactivate Operation Sovereign Borders, Paul. Just, airstrikes, get the boats out. Because no, the bottom line is, I mean, I can't speak for your viewers, but I will tell you that lots of Australian viewers of the Mark Dolan show don't want to see Harry and Meghan. The reason 100%. Why it went down well in 2018, Paul, is because the Australian public didn't know Meghan Markle very well. Well, they know her now.
About what additional information related to the visit could emerge. In high-profile situations involving public figures, even limited disclosures can quickly shift attention toward broader questions about planning, messaging, and expectations. The timing of the reports has also drawn attention. Observers note that the Australia trip had been widely viewed as an opportunity for Meghan to highlight upcoming projects and maintain momentum around her public initiatives. Instead, online conversation has increasingly focused on issues such as transparency, event accessibility, and the nature of the gathering linked to her visit. To understand why the story has gained traction, analysts point to coverage by outlets, including Sky News Australia, which reported that the leaked message appeared to come from internal communications associated with Meghan's scheduled appearance at a women-focused retreat. The information reportedly included logistical notes and organizational details typically shared only among staff or event coordinators.
It's so interesting. I was actually on that royal tour back in 2018, and the optics for us at that time, because we didn't know what was going on behind the scenes, and to Tom Bower's book, I mean, these are the claims that he's talking about. It's the lead up to Megxit. But for us as journalists and members of the public seeing that tour, it looked like a huge success. There were thousands of people greeting them everywhere. They were so popular at that time. It felt like this really huge moment for them and a really exciting moment for the monarchy. Now, as we know, that wasn't how they felt about it behind the scenes. And, 18 months later, they had left the royal family.
Leaks of this kind are not uncommon in the celebrity and entertainment industries, where private planning material sometimes becomes public through unknown channels. However, media commentators suggest that the reaction in this case has been amplified because the disclosure prompted closer scrutiny of the event itself. The retreat connected to Meghan's trip has been promoted as a luxury gathering centered on themes such as empowerment, professional networking, and personal development. Supporters of the concept argue that such events often feature high-profile speakers, exclusive programming, and premium venues, factors that can significantly influence pricing structures. At the same time, critics have raised concerns after reports indicated that ticket packages for the retreat could cost several thousand Australian dollars.
Apparently, Australia holds a special place in the handlers' minds, because somehow they think Australia has been kinder to the formers than anywhere else. I'm pretty sure Australia's not massive fans.
For some observers, this has sparked a wider debate about whether initiatives framed around empowerment and opportunity should aim for broader accessibility, or whether exclusive formats are a standard part of celebrity-led experiences. The contrasting interpretations have quickly fueled discussion across social media platforms. Commentators have debated whether the event reflects common industry practice or highlights a perceived gap between messaging and audience reach. Others have emphasized that without full details about sponsorship arrangements, programming costs, or charitable components,
so there is that aspect of it where they want to come here and I guess just sort of launch this new phase of their career. But at the same time, it will, of course, invite comparisons to that trip back in 2018 when there were thousands of people out to meet them. And now you're looking at situations where they're selling tickets for events. So Meghan will be doing this
it may be
Bessie's event.
premature to draw firm conclusions. Public relations analysts note that controversies linked to leaks can sometimes overshadow the original purpose of a high-profile appearance. In this case, perhaps the conversation surrounding the retreat appears to be reshaping headlines that might otherwise have focused on Meghan's initiatives or partnerships. For now, there has been no comprehensive official explanation regarding how the internal communication became public. As with many rapidly developing media stories, key facts may take time to emerge, and interpretations may continue to evolve as additional information becomes available. What remains clear is that the episode illustrates how quickly attention can shift in the digital era.
You know, I just think this is another Montecito money grab. As you rightly mentioned, I mean, the Netflix deal has been cancelled. These two just won't give up and they're just desperate for this relevance. They've got relevance deprivation syndrome.
A single leaked message, whether incomplete or fully representative, can influence public perception, spark debate, and redirect the narrative surrounding even carefully planned events involving globally recognized figures. As Meghan's Australia trip approaches, all observers will be watching closely to see whether the focus returns to her stated goals for the visit or whether questions raised by the leak continue to shape the broader conversation. As discussion around the reported email leak continued to intensify, another layer of speculation began to emerge online.
Thankfully, Meghan Markle grew up in Hollywood, where hiring extras or seat fillers is a go-to to avoid looking like you failed miserably at something. So who knows, there might not be an empty seat in the house. But honestly, who would pay $3,000 for quotes like, "You have to anchor yourself in your own knowing," or "My bacon brings all the boys to the yard"? I would pay $3,000 for a grifter's guide to making millions off of Netflix and Spotify while doing the bare minimum. I would definitely pay $3,000 for a lesson on how to trap a prince. But that's not what these ladies will get. They'll get Meghan transferring one bag of pretzels into another bag of pretzels.
Commentators across media platforms started raising a new question that quickly pushed the story further into the spotlight. The issue now being widely debated is whether the disclosure of the message was purely accidental or whether it might have been intentional. At present, there is no verified evidence indicating that the communication was deliberately leaked. Nevertheless, the mere possibility has been enough to fuel extensive discussion. In the world of royal coverage and celebrity commentary, even limited uncertainty can rapidly develop into a much broader narrative.
So, there is a brand new book which is all in and around Meghan Markle being able to brainwash Harry. Do you buy it? Do you believe it? Or is it just a way to sell some paperbacks?
Well, listen, Tom Bower is one of the most feared biographers in the world, and he's gone after Richard Branson, Tony Blair, and of course, Meghan Markle. None of those people have successfully sued him because, like you, Paul, he's an elite-level journalist who checks his facts. And don't forget that these publishing companies are not stupid. They're not going to publish things that aren't true because they know they'll wind up in.
Some analysts suggest that the growing controversy could overshadow the primary purpose of Meghan Markle's planned visit. Others argue that the episode reflects a recurring dynamic that has followed her public profile for several years. The perceived tension between
they will be able to
advocacy
find
messaging
300
and the
women willing to
realities
part
of
with almost
high-profile
$3,000
events
for this.
associated with celebrity culture. Supporters frequently point to Meghan's charitable initiatives and campaigns related to social issues as evidence of her long-standing public commitments. Critics, however, often focus on what they interpret as conflicting signals when empowerment themes are linked to exclusive or luxury-oriented experiences. course, this broader debate appears to be one of the reasons why the reported leak has attracted such sustained attention. For many observers, the circulation of internal planning details has been viewed as a rare glimpse into the organizational processes behind high-visibility appearances.
What remains to be seen. I can't wait to see how they go here in Australia. The Duke and Duchess of Privacy on another privacy tour.
The royal family 6 years ago, and we have seen even just the fact their Netflix deal was downgraded, although that's not how they have said it, but it is. These sorts of things, I mean, their value has changed, and that is a very expensive ticket. I will say one thing on a personal note, when I saw that $3,000 doesn't get you an individual photo with Meghan, I thought, well, I'd be pretty upset.
Yes.
if I'm going to pay that kind of money to attend this event, presumably just to hear her speak and be in proximity to her, I want a selfie with the...
Situations in which private logistical information becomes public can naturally prompt curiosity about how events are structured, funded, and positioned in the media landscape. Another factor contributing to the heightened interest is the destination itself. Australia holds particular symbolic significance in the public story of Meghan and Prince Harry. Shortly after their wedding in 2018, the couple undertook a royal tour of the country that was widely described at the time as highly successful. Large crowds attended public engagements. Patina media coverage was generally positive, with some commentators characterizing the visit as one of the most warmly received tours in recent royal history. Comparisons between that earlier moment and the present context have become part of the ongoing discussion. Since stepping back from official royal duties and relocating to the United States, Harry and Meghan have pursued a range of independent media and business ventures. While some initiatives have drawn significant praise and attention, others have prompted debate regarding the couple's evolving role in public life.
Richard Kay has claimed Princess Diana was preparing her younger son, Prince Harry, to be the king, preferencing him over the shy Prince William, who Diana felt wasn't interested in the top job. Kinsey, look, we have a lot of respect for the late Princess Diana in this country, but man, did she get that one wrong.
Yeah, I'm allergic to this story. Are we really expected to trust her judgment? Diana died in the backseat of a car with a guy who was engaged to another woman. Another one of her ex-lovers wrote a tell-all about her titled Princess in Love, airing all of their dirty laundry. Prince Charles, period. I mean, I don't even have to go into that one. Her poor judgment in men should be studied in classrooms. Harry is right where he should be, taking pictures with paying customers like he's Mickey.
Because of this complex trajectory, analysts note that each new appearance tends to be examined closely. In that sense, if the upcoming Australia trip was intended to mark a new phase in Meghan's public engagement strategy, and the focus on the leaked email may already be reshaping expectations. Instead of anticipation centered primarily on her participation in the retreat, online conversations are increasingly dominated by questions about the event's structure, about transparency in promotional messaging, and about whether the controversy could expand further. Some commentators suggest that the most significant concern may not be the information already disclosed, but the possibility that additional communications or details could surface.
His book is called Betrayal. It contains some really juicy allegations, including claims that Queen Camilla, King Charles's wife, confided to a friend, Harry's been brainwashed by Meghan. Who could disagree? Since they got married, he suddenly hates his country, hates his family, hates being a royal, and goes off for a very boring life in California.
As the reported email continued circulating across social media and news outlets, attention also turned toward the retreat itself. The gathering is being presented as an exclusive women-focused experience emphasizing empowerment, professional networking, and personal growth. In principle, such formats are often designed to foster connections among participants and provide access to influential speakers or curated programming. However, widespread reports indicating that ticket packages may reach several thousand Australian dollars have sparked renewed debate. Supporters argue that premium pricing is typical for events involving celebrity appearances and high-end venues. Critics counter that such costs can limit accessibility and raise broader questions about who ultimately benefits from initiatives framed around empowerment.
Had a year since With Love Meghan launched, and we had, 2 seasons of that and a one-off holiday special, and that's no more. So now really all of her eggs are very literally in the as ever basket, especially now she's going it alone without Netflix. So this all kind of feeds into this this image and this career she's trying to build for herself as sort of a Gwyneth Paltrow type, or just getting out there, and it's about lifestyle and self-help and all of those sorts of things. And it does feed into that.
These contrasting perspectives have helped sustain the story's momentum. As speculation continues and more commentary emerges, the situation illustrates how quickly public narratives can evolve when private communications intersect with high-profile appearances and long-standing debates about image, sponsor messaging, and audience perception. As discussion around the reported email leak continued to intensify, another layer of speculation began to emerge online. Commentators across media platforms started raising a new question that quickly pushed the story further into the spotlight. The issue now being widely debated is whether the disclosure of the message was purely accidental or whether it might have been intentional. At present, there is no verified evidence indicating that the communication was deliberately leaked. Nevertheless, the mere possibility has been enough to fuel extensive discussion. In the world of royal coverage and celebrity commentary, even limited uncertainty can rapidly develop into a much broader narrative.
So it is now 7 years on, they're going to be coming back to Australia, but the landscape for them could not be more different. So as I mentioned earlier, I have had sources telling me that it's about coming back here for, there's 2 main reasons that were mentioned to me. And one is Harry's connection with friends that he's cultivated over the years in Australia. He has a lot of close friends here, particularly in the military community. Then he'll be looking to work in that space while he's here. And also for Meghan, as I said, she's at a very important point in this lifestyle company that she's running and trying to build this empire, because she has now split with.
Some analysts suggest that the growing controversy could overshadow the primary purpose of Meghan Markle's planned visit. Others argue that the episode reflects a recurring dynamic that has followed her public profile for several years: the perceived tension between advocacy messaging and the realities of high-profile events associated with celebrity culture. Supporters frequently point to Meghan's charitable initiatives and campaigns related to social issues as evidence of her long-standing public commitments. Critics, however, often focus on what they interpret as conflicting signals when empowerment themes are linked to exclusive or luxury-oriented experiences. This broader debate appears to be one of the reasons why the reported leak has attracted such sustained attention. For many observers, it's the circulation of internal planning details has been viewed as a rare glimpse into the organizational processes behind high-visibility appearances. Situations in which private logistical information becomes public can naturally prompt curiosity about how events are structured, funded, and positioned in the media landscape. Another factor contributing to the heightened interest is the destination itself. Australia holds particular symbolic significance in the public story of Meghan and Prince Harry. Shortly after their wedding in 2018, the couple undertook a royal tour of the country that was widely described at the time as highly successful. Large crowds attended public engagements, and media coverage was generally positive, with some commentators characterizing the visit as one of the most warmly received tours in recent royal history. Comparisons between that earlier moment and the present context have become part of the ongoing discussion. Since stepping back from official royal duties and relocating to the United States, Harry and Meghan have pursued a range of independent media and business ventures. While some initiatives have drawn significant praise and attention, others have prompted debate regarding the couple's evolving role in public life. Because of this complex trajectory, Analysts note that each new appearance tends to be examined closely.
Around $3,000. So she'll need to sell out that event because the optics would be terrible if she didn't. But also with Harry, he'll be doing a mental health speech on workplace mental health in Melbourne while he's here. And again, tickets for that are around $2,000. All proceeds go to charity. But they are now commercial and private citizens, as they say. So it's a very different landscape. And there will be comparisons when they're here to that big trip for the monarchy 7 years ago.
In that sense, if the upcoming Australia trip was intended to mark a new phase in Meghan's public engagement strategy, the focus on the leaked email may already be reshaping expectations. And instead of anticipation centered primarily on her participation in the retreat, online conversations are increasingly dominated by questions about the event's structure, about transparency in promotional messaging, and about whether the controversy could expand further. Some commentators suggest that the most significant concern may not be the information already disclosed, but the possibility that additional communications or details could surface. As the reported email continued circulating across social media and news outlets, attention also turned toward the retreat itself. The gathering is being presented as an exclusive women-focused experience, emphasizing empowerment, professional networking, and personal growth. In principle, such formats are often designed to foster connections among participants and provide access to influential speakers or curated programming. However, widespread reports indicating that ticket packages may reach several thousand Australian dollars have sparked renewed debate. Supporters argue that premium pricing is typical for events involving celebrity appearances and high-end venues. Critics counter that such costs can limit accessibility and raise broader questions about who ultimately benefits from initiatives framed around empowerment. These contrasting perspectives have helped sustain the story's momentum. As speculation continues and more commentary emerges, the situation illustrates how quickly public narratives can evolve when private communications intersect with high-profile appearances and long-standing debates about image, messaging, and audience perception. Beyond the immediate headlines, many commentators say the situation raises broader questions about Meghan Markle's public image and what the controversy could mean for her future appearances and projects. In simple terms, the story is no longer just about a single event. It has become part of a wider narrative involving celebrity scrutiny, powerful media dynamics, and the ongoing challenge of maintaining a carefully shaped public persona in an era where even minor details can spread globally within seconds. One leaked message can quickly trigger widespread debate across platforms, drawing millions into a conversation that may have started with a routine planning issue. With that context in mind, attention is increasingly turning to the third major element of the story, the Australia trip itself, or the significance of Meghan and Prince Harry returning there, and the potential consequences the visit could have for both their personal and professional trajectories has become a focal point for observers. Originally, the trip was framed as a high-profile opportunity to highlight Meghan's initiatives, promote the luxury retreat, and reinforce the couple's global visibility. Some analysts described it as resembling a softer, more informal return to countries they once visited, while still serving as senior working royals. Australia holds particular symbolic importance in the couple's public story. Their 2018 royal tour was widely described at the time as a major success, with large crowds and positive media coverage helping shape early perceptions of their role within the monarchy. Because of that history, expectations for any return appearance were already elevated. However, the reported email leak appears to have shifted the narrative significantly. Instead of focusing primarily on advocacy themes or networking opportunities associated with the retreat, public attention has turned toward questions about transparency, exclusivity, and how internal planning details became public. critics moved quickly to express their views online. Social media platforms filled with commentary examining both the event's pricing and what some perceive as a contrast between empowerment messaging and luxury branding. Memes, viral posts, and commentary videos began circulating almost immediately, illustrating how rapidly public perception can evolve in the digital age. Some observers now suggest the controversy could overshadow the retreat entirely. For them, the timing feels particularly unfortunate. Headlines that might have highlighted empowerment initiatives are instead centered on debates about privilege, accessibility, and image management. Reports citing unnamed insiders indicate that Meghan and Harry's team is aware of the potential public relations implications. Preparations for the visit are said to be under review, with possible adjustments to schedules, guest lists, or event logistics being considered. Whether such measures would significantly alter the public conversation remains uncertain. Beyond the immediate developments, the situation also reflects a broader issue that has followed the couple since stepping back from official royal duties: the complex relationship between intention and public perception. In today's media environment, and even well-planned engagements can quickly become flashpoints for debate once private details enter the public domain. Meghan has spent years building a public profile centered on advocacy, empowerment, and charitable initiatives. These themes have featured prominently in speeches, media projects, and public appearances. Yet, the same visibility that amplifies those messages can also magnify criticism when controversies arise. Commentators frequently connect current stories to the couple's previous ventures, including documentary projects, public speaking engagements, and high-profile media partnerships. Critics argue that the Sussexes operate in a space where influence and controversies often intersect, meaning each new appearance is scrutinized for perceived inconsistencies or symbolic signals. For that reason, this Australia trip is being interpreted by some analysts as more than just another engagement. It is seen as the latest chapter in a longer narrative that continues to evolve. Public appearances involving Meghan and Harry are often dissected in detail, with observers examining messaging, venues, attendees, and logistical choices in search of insights into their priorities. Supporters, however, continue to defend the couple's strategy. They argue that high-visibility events can play an essential role in attracting funding, raising awareness, and building networks that support charitable and social initiatives. From this perspective, celebrity involvement is viewed as a practical tool for amplifying important causes. The clash between these viewpoints helps explain why the story remains so compelling. On one side are those who see calculated advocacy and strategic communication. On the other are critics who interpret certain events as potentially conflicting with the values being promoted. This tension has been a recurring theme in Meghan's public life, and the email leak has brought it back into focus. The international dimension adds further intrigue. Australia's long-standing relationship with the British royal family means that visits by prominent royal figures, even former working royals, tend to attract significant attention. The trip is therefore being viewed not only as a professional engagement, but also as a symbolic moment in the couple's evolving global identity. In 2018, their tour generated considerable excitement, reinforcing positive perceptions at the time. And expectations for any subsequent visit were naturally shaped by that memory. Now, however, much of the coverage appears likely to concentrate on the leak, the social media backlash, and the broader questions about public perception. Reports suggest Meghan is aware of how sensitive the situation has become. The episode serves as a reminder of how quickly internal communications can enter the public sphere and reshape narratives that were carefully planned. Insiders claim this awareness is influencing how her team approaches messaging and logistics as the trip approaches. As the countdown continues, observers are watching closely, Questions remain about how Meghan and Harry will present themselves during the visit, whether the retreat's positioning will be adjusted, and how the couple will respond to ongoing criticism. And online debate continues to expand, ranging from speculation about motivations to wider discussions about privilege, authenticity, and media influence. Each new development adds momentum to the story, reinforcing the sense that the visit carries unusually high stakes. At this stage, one central question dominates commentary. Will Meghan and Harry successfully navigate the controversy, or will the leaked email ultimately define the narrative surrounding the trip? For many following the situation, that uncertainty is precisely what makes the story so gripping. In a media landscape where public figures are constantly under scrutiny, even minor details can escalate into major headlines. All the key elements are now in place: the leak, the luxury retreat, the intense online reactions, and the broader history surrounding the couple's public life. Together, they have transformed what might have been a routine international appearance into something larger, a test of perception, influence, and control over the public narrative.